Perfect. This is awesome, you guys. So I'm going to start recording in a little bit. Okay. Whoops. So anybody who has been to Leaders Retreat before, like, feel free to pipe in at any time. Kind of what I mentioned before, I mean, so this is something everybody on here knows probably a little bit about it. If you don't know about it, it is completely different than convention. Convention is something that everybody has an opportunity to go to. Leaders Retreat is an earned incentive retreat where Plexus literally rolls up the carpet. And they are saying, hey, we see you out there. We see you working hard. We want to recognize you. We want to bring you to this beautiful destination. We don't know where it's going to be, but it's going to be announced right at convention. So we have some cities going around, people thinking that they might know where it's going to be. They always seem to use a Gaylord property. Oops. I think that might be a car. They always use a Gaylord property, so they're starting to run out of Gaylord properties. So that might be a hint maybe of a next city that they're going to be in. But this is basically an earn retreat. You set yourself apart as a leader, and it's something that if you want, you have to work for it. I definitely, to be completely real, there are no accidental earners that go to Leaders Retreat. You work hard, you put yourself to action, and you can earn it. Stephanie Nichols is one of those individuals that has earned this Leaders Retreat pretty much on her own. And that goes to show you how hard she worked last year to get there. So basically, do you want to go? Yes, you want to go. It's not jam-packed like convention. So this is where I have met a lot of sideline friends for Plexus. You make connections, you talk to people, you share ideas, you can learn so many things from other people and really find yourself in relationships, having them add you as part of their team page. That's where I get a lot of my content for the team page that we have is from other team pages, and it's helped me so much grow in my business. So really building those relationships and talking about people. So I want you to think about, because we don't know what the structure is yet for Leaders Retreat, I think it's going to be pretty similar as it's been in the past. And really how it works is you are going to have a certain number of points that they're going to put. This is your entry into Leaders Retreat. Last year, I think it was around 775 points. In addition to earning, once you earn, then you have prizes that go up in the tier level based on how many points you earn, similar to convention. So some of the prizes last year were happy cash. They have a private cocktail reception with Alec and Charles, president and CEO. They have a Bloomingdale's like $3,000 shopping spree. You get $3,000 and you go. Like I can't even imagine what that would be like. The store closes, they open the doors for Plexus ambassadors. They just really roll out the red carpet. So in addition to earning, you have the tier level where you can earn these prizes. So I want you to think about what if you've heard the word BHAG, BHAG, stands for Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal. What would that goal be for you? Is that goal earning Leaders Retreat, which I think is an amazing goal? Like everybody has to be there. Is your goal the happy cash? Is your goal the shopping spree? Whatever that goal is, put your time to work and make it happen. So can you get there? Yes, you can. Are you ready to go? Yes, you are. And is your business ready to go? Yes, it is. And I will tell you from experience, I was the one who, I thought that only like the Jewel ambassadors earned this trip. I remember being a gold ambassador a few years ago, and I wasn't even keeping track because I didn't think it was attainable because I was in my own head, and I'm like, well, no, I'm not gonna earn that. And I remember Jen Hawkins calling me, and she's like, hey, where are you at? Are you close? And I was like, oh no, I haven't even checked, but there's no way that I can do it. I'm gold. Like how is that possible? And so that was the first year, you guys, that I actually earned it. And and that's what I want to talk about tonight, because you're going to see these numbers and you're going to see these points and you're going to sit there, and I don't want you to get in your mind and think, how in the world am I going to add a certain number of people? How in the world am I going to add a certain number of customers? How am I going to get to this PV level where it's going to give me the highest points? I don't want you to look at that, because that can be paralyzing and that can be debilitating, because that's where I was. All I did when I earned it, I worked and worked hard. And I'm not saying like working 24 hours a day. I'm saying finding those certain number of minutes throughout the day and work it with intention. You do the work, you have the reach outs, the follow-ups, the messages. You do that for the next 3 months, and I guarantee you there is absolutely no reason that you will not be there. This contest runs, if it's the same as it's been in the past, it runs 30. So put yourself to work is retroactive from June 1st. So if you've had any new customers, if you've had any new ambassadors, if you're working hard to get your PV up, it's going to go back dated, even though they haven't announced the contest details, it's going to go back to June the 1st. So if you aren't going full speed right now, it is time for you to dive in. I mean, we have the new Joyum, which is, I love the before and afters that I'm seeing. This is a whole new market. And I don't know if you watched the team call where Jen jumped on and she was thinking, and it was kind of maybe where a lot of us were thinking, like, we're like, what at Plexus, what are you doing? Like, stay in your lane. We're the gut health company. Like, why are you doing skincare? We're not, but you guys, this Joyome product can take somebody's business to the completely next level. Even if you're just working and marketing and talking about Joyome. I mean, the response from people that are seeing these before and afters, that's huge. Use that to your advantage when you're talking, when you're reaching out to people. We have the new hunger control, and I know it's not coming out till August, but start sending out samples to people if you have your hands on this. Send out samples of the pink drink, whether it's the hunger control or not. Get samples in people's hands and then reach out to them and invite them to our 7-day challenge group. That 7-day challenge group is something that has completely changed the path where our team is going and how many people we're adding every single month. They get their toe wet into this whole group that's $25, and at the end of it, I would say we have a very percentage that become customers or that decide to take the leap and join as ambassadors. So I think that's really where it's at. Not only, with the 7-day challenge, it is helping with your PV. I want to say, I don't know what the rules will be for the convention contest, for Leaders Retreat, but I know last year the customer had to be, I believe, a new customer, and they had to have at least $50 in PV. So if you are trying to utilize the 7-day challenge group as helping with leverage to get you to Leaders Retreat, what I might recommend doing is ordering a lot of, or some 7-day trial packs from your own back office, so that you can send that directly to the person that's interested. They can compensate you for it in a check or PayPal. And then when they're ready at the end of those 7 days, they can, you can enter them in as a new customer, a new customer. Because what I don't know for sure, but what might happen is if they order a 7-day trial pack as retail, they might not count when they want to order as a preferred or when they want to upgrade. I don't know how those rules are yet, but I know this has worked for Katie Rice really well in the past. She has ordered a bundle of 7-day trial packs, and those are always really good to have on hand, regardless of when our challenge group is happening. It's $25. It's a great way to really send that out to people. You don't have to worry about the back office and shipping. You just get that out from yourself to that person, and it's a good deal. So use that to your advantage. Super important, I think, when it comes to this, because I know that this was a big struggle for me. And I know some of us are really big into the day affirmations, and some of us kind of maybe veer away from it because we might not even be believing what we're telling ourselves. But I want you to stop, to write this down on a Post-it note, on your phone, in your notes, record it on one of those record apps on your phone so you can play it to yourself every day. And if you don't know what those are, I can give you the names of some of those because they're really helpful. And it sounds silly hearing yourself talk back to yourself, but it really, really works. So daily affirmations, train your brain and speak positive to yourself. A couple of examples that I have done in the past, and I mean, I know everybody's affirmations are personal, but these are just some ones that I wanted to give you. Plexus is sending me to Leaders Retreat. I will gain 10 new customers by August 31st. I will gain 10 new ambassadors by August 31st. I will bring hope to those people that are suffering. I have to offer what people desire. When I speak to people, they will listen. I'm going to wake up every day and I'm going to share daily. So these are some examples of affirmations that I tell myself, that I listen to, repeat over and over. I'm telling you, it's still a struggle. Even 4 years into this for me, that negativity that can creep in your mind, that never goes away. I mean, and for people that say that it does, that's not, I mean, I don't think that's true. Just being real and being honest. You're always going to have those moments. And I think that's part of the roller coaster for plexus. But when you figure out and believe that you actually have what people need, you are going to have that mind shift set to be more positive, because that when you reach out to someone, when you message someone, if you have even an inkling that you're bothering them, your belief is not big enough. You want to feel that when you're reaching out to someone, that it's going to be their loss if they don't take you up on something you can offer, if they don't take you up on trying a sample, because that's where you want your mind shift to be, because that's what we have in our hands to share with other people. And that's really where confidence comes into play as far as, you know, what you have. I think the positive affirmations are absolutely huge. So try to write those out before you know the structure of this contest. You can get to work. You can change your mindset. You can speak positive to yourself. So start working on that. We have something special here. And if you have excuses in your way, that you have built up a brick wall, remove those excuses and make those reasons to push yourself forward. Because you're going to have, I love this post that I've seen somewhere where it's like, I can't, I have a full-time job. I can't, I have 3 kids. I can't, I have 2 jobs. Those reasons are going to be, those excuses are going to be the reasons why somebody over here is going to push themselves. I have to because I have 3 kids. I have to because I have 2 jobs. And I have to because I'm exhausted. You know, so find those reasons and make those reasons the reason why you're going to work hard to push yourself. I think that Leaders Retreat is a great incentive to work for, but I also think that we need to be working our business like we're trying to earn Leaders Retreat all the time. Because I think that no matter whether or not there's this awesome incentive out here in front of us, you're going to do the work. And whether or not you go or you don't go, I believe that each and every one of you are going. But you're going to move forward no matter what. And that's the positive part. There's no lose-lose in this. It's just win-win. So this is a 3-month contest, if it's going to be the same, and I think that it is. It's definitely not a sprint. This is a marathon. You are going to have bumps in the road. You are going to have hurdles. You are going to be tired. You're going to want to shut it down for a day. But if you power into this and put yourself into constant momentum, there is absolutely no reason that you can't get there. I don't want you have a slow June. I don't want you to give up after that. I don't want you to think that, oh, I have a slow June and I can't power through July and August. I'm already like setting myself back. You have complete control over your PV, and your PV, your personal volume, is where you can attain and earn the most points. So I think the way that they set it up last year was, it was kind of like convention. Like if you have 500 to 1,000 PV, you get a certain number of points. 1,000 to 1,500 is a certain number of points. I think the max that they get points are is 2,500 PV and up. Now I'm telling you, like if you're thinking that number and you're like, I could never do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. There are so many people out there that you have probably not touched, and it's not who you know, it's who they know, and it's who they know. Friend request as many people, and this can be uncomfortable for people. Like I had a neighborhood block party today, and I mean it's weird. Like it's still a little bit uncomfortable, but I still power through it, and I survive it. You know, I'll go up to someone and we just start talking, and I'm like, "Are you on Facebook?" And yes, yeah, I am. Friend request them right there, and you're not saying anything to them about plexus. They're going to start seeing your posts. That is how I've gotten so many new customers, and it's definitely really intriguing for people who might not even know you very well, but they start seeing all this positivity and motivation and your story. Don't think just because you shared your story once or maybe like 2 weeks ago that people saw it. Because I have, and just an example, I have a friend who I went to high school with, and I posted something about my cholesterol results, which I've been posting for 4 years. This is the first time that he ever saw it. And he wrote me and said, "Does this help with cholesterol?" I'm sitting in my mind like, oh my gosh, how has he not seen this before? But the algorithms, when those things will block certain information from getting to certain people. So don't feel like you're sharing your story too much. You probably aren't even sharing it enough. So be personal, be vulnerable, especially share with intention. If you're going to be talking about the 7-day challenge and you're going to try to get people to join you, take a picture of yourself holding packets. Try to avoid graphics. I know we do a lot of the different posts of the day and we do a lot of different graphics on there, but the more real that you can be and the more personal that you can be, and do a live video of you pouring it into the water and shaking it up. I mean, you don't even have to be talking in there. You could do like some type of video, but something that's going to make people when they're scrolling through stop and want to know what you're doing. So that's just a little side note on that. So we wanted to talking about putting yourself in constant momentum. Now is the time to go and get it, to run literally your butt off. Like these 3 months are it's a great time because you're coming off of summer. Kids are starting, this whole contest runs through after the kids start to go back to school. That's where a lot of moms who have been crazy in the summer really want to start, they send their kids back off at school and they really want to start focusing on themselves. So start make your list. If you guys don't have a list, it can be overwhelming to make a list. But if you guys don't have a list yet, start your list. If you have not seen the 64 connections that we got passed out at Super Saturday, and this is a really great list, and I can upload it. I know it's in our files tab on the team page, but I can upload it again because I know there's a lot of information out there. This is a list where you can list out people who need the products, people who need the opportunity, and then people who need both. When you have names on a piece of paper, that is going to be such a valuable time saver for you because you're not going to get sucked in the Facebook trap, which we've all been there. You have 15 minutes to work your business. How are you going to do this? Well, you get on and then you start scrolling through and you're like, who am I going to reach out to? Who am I going to message? You have that in front of you on a piece of paper, and that can always be changing and growing. But make your list. It sounds overwhelming, but you have that in front of you and you can map that out. I really would say to use Sunday nights or whatever day of the week to plan out what your week looks like. I mean, some of you might work a little bit differently. Some of you might know you might work just day by day. You might not have time to plan out your week. But maybe have a plan and action and say, you know what, I'm going to start at my friend list and I'm going to go A through M on Monday night. And I am going to send everyone that I know the message about the 7-day trial. And the little verbiage like, hey, I'm sure you've seen my Plexus post, I'm running the 7-day challenge. So many people have experienced better gut health, more sleep, better energy, $25. I'm so excited. Do you want in? Something as small as that. But make it intentional. And then the next night, do your friends list M through Z. Make it so that way you have a plan of action so that you can say, I have 15 minutes tonight. What am I going to do? You're going to shut everything down. You set a timer. I think timers are huge, and I've started doing that because I'm looking at that timer, and I'm like, I know that I have only these couple of minutes, and this is the action that I'm going to take, and this is what I'm going to do. So that's just an example of different things that you can do. I know that we have talked about before in Facebook. It's amazing to start having so many friends from Plexus, but if that's all you're seeing in your newsfeed, I can guarantee you that the people that you really want to see you are not seeing you. So I have created a folder called Intentional Engagement, and you can create your folder. It's easier to do on a computer. I don't even know if you can do it on your phone, but if you're on your Facebook page, you can create a folder and you can add people who are on that Frank's list. So like if you make a list of 64 people, I have all 64 people in that intentional engagement folder on Facebook, because you can go to that folder then and click on it and just start liking and commenting on those posts, because that intentional engagement folder is only going to show the people in your newsfeed that you have personally put in there. If you need help on how to do this, I'm telling you, it's brilliant. And Katie Harbach, who's a Plexus ambassador out of Florida, she does this. It's the way she organizes her business, and it's really great because it really is intentional. You're gonna notice that in these 3 months when you're going after it and working hard, that you're gonna work a little bit differently. That you're gonna maybe set yourself up, setting business hours, getting up maybe a little bit earlier, going to bed a little bit later, doing your own power hour, finding somebody on this team to link arms with and to just become your accountability partner. I think that that's huge. When you're doing it with someone else and you have someone to make you stay accountable, I think that that's really sets you up for success. And I wanted to talk about, oh, sorry, go ahead. Somebody has to, oh no. I wanted to say, when you start setting yourself up to put yourself out there to be vulnerable, expect rejection. And I'm just saying that and not too scared of it. I have probably had more rejection than anybody, because I've been doing it longer, and I think that when you expect rejection, but know that you're worthy of getting positive feedback back, then if you have rejection, you can emotionally detach yourself from that rejection. Like, for example, I post on Facebook daily about Plexus. I have less than a handful of people that like my Plexus posts. And that's 4 years into this. But I've lived to tell the tale, right? So for every person that may have hurt my feelings, for every person that may defriend me or roll their eyes, I have one person that's going to come to me and be crying and saying thank you. I have one person that's going to not even be on my Plexus journey and message me out of the blue and say, I can tell that you're so super passionate about this. Like, you go. Like, you do you. And I think that that's where it's so worth it. There's a saying that, deciding is 5%, but doing it is 95%. So you're going to need the 95% every single day for the next 3 months to really get there. And I also wanted to point out, so removing, one of the other tips that I have lots of notes on pieces of paper, but removing weapons of mass destruction. That is a term by Les Brown. He's an awesome motivational speaker. If you don't follow him on social media, you should. Les Brown, he has spoken at many Plexus events, and he's the most amazing man. But he talks about removing weapons of mass destruction when you have a big goal set ahead. And what that means is, so for example, don't spend time trolling on Facebook. Use it to get your business done. If you have a TV show, I'm not saying don't watch TV, but I'm saying if you have a TV show that you love that you don't want to miss, maybe DVR it. Maybe wait for it to come out on Netflix. And so for the next 3 months, the time that you spend watching that TV show, dedicate that to your business. If you get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, maybe get up at 6 o'clock. Or if you go to bed at 10 or 9, maybe go to bed at 10. It's going to take some sacrifice, but if you remove those things that are, I'm not saying like doing Plexus all the time. I'm just saying, like, for me, I used to read less magazines, like, and instead now I'm trying to read more like John Maxwell books. So finding a way that's really going to help you grow and help give you the time back when you feel like you're crunched for time, because we are all so busy. There is not enough hours in the day, and finding the time to really sit down and do this, it's hard. It's hard for everybody. We all have different things going on in our lives, but if you make this a priority, wherever it falls into place, you're going to find the time to make that happen for yourself. We're going to have an IPA challenge group coming up, and I was going to start it tomorrow, but I think that with convention coming up, with everything going on, I think it's going to be best to start it right when we get back from convention on that Monday. And the IPA challenge is IPA's income producing activity. This is going to be a challenge to help put yourself out there, to make intentional posts, to do the work, to stay accountable. But if you can give yourself a goal from this call for the next 10 days, if you can reach out to 10 people every single day, that's going to be multiple exposure. So it's going to be exposure for the next few weeks. So you're going to have a reason for those people that you reach out to, maybe about a 7-day trial, or if you reach out to just to start conversation, you're going to have a reason to follow up with them, because Plexus is coming out with 2 new products at convention. You're going to be able to message them and follow up about the 7-day trial. You're going to be able to message them and follow up with them for something. So you're going to have this multiple exposure bet, because so for the next few weeks, by the end of the month, you're going to hopefully know that they're going to take that leap with you. Maybe share a diamond documentary with someone who you know is struggling financially, who you know is working multiple jobs, who is miserable at their job, who is a stay-at-home mom and wants to help supplement their income. Maybe share a diamond documentary with them. In the toolbar, in our own back office, we have shareable tools. Shareables, these are videos or informational links for each product that you can send to them, and it links them. Not only does it share about the product, but it links them right back to your website. So we have so many tools and resources at hand. Send people samples, you guys. I know it is an investment. Each sample is worth $2.50, but you get a sample in the hand of someone, and they're going to. It only takes one. Don't feel like you need to send 3. Don't feel like you need to send 7. They're going to decide whether or not they want to try this drink after one sample. And then it gives you a reason to follow up. I know it's an investment, and I know, if you have a chance to purchase an extra slim bag just for samples alone, try it. I guarantee you your investment will take you really far. And putting that into the hands of other people is a great way. But I wanted to, I know that this is not like these are just a couple of tips. I know this isn't like a strategy like, okay, here's the set number for Leaders Retreat. Here's how exactly you're going to earn it. Because I feel like people are going to earn it different ways. You can earn it from PV alone. I mean, I've seen people earn it just by having the highest PV and not having earned points for a customer or an ambassador. So you have the power over that. Some people are going to just blow it out of the water and have tons of new customers. Some people are going to have their team below them be a huge help for them to get to go there. I think last year, levels 1 through 4 were the levels that counted toward points. So if you have a new ambassador on your levels 1 through 4, those are the ones that counted. So if you start growing your team and start training and helping duplicate your team to do the power of 3, you're not going to be able to have to do this all on your own. So setting up a number system is in my mind, putting that pause, like putting that paralyzing feeling on people. Because I think that when you're saying, like, if I were to sit here and say, okay, you need to add 25 ambassadors in the next 3 months, and you need to add like 20 customers. Who here is going to be like, oh, I can't do that? Like, absolutely. I mean, that's how I felt when I started. So I know exactly how that feeling is. So rather than setting you up to already think that you can't do it, I want to tell you that you can, and I want to just encourage you to get to work and to really push yourself out there and to start just talking to people. There was an ambassador, I saw her, she did a video, and one of her ideas was the referral program that she created all on her own. She was like, when somebody says no, they're not interested, then I say to them, oh, would you like to be part of my referral program? If you know someone who has autoimmune, migraines, digestive issues, all these things, if you want to send them my way, if they end up, ordering, then I will send you a whatever, and that could be like a 3-day trial pack, something. So that was the way that she had helped earn herself. There was another ambassador who was, I believe she was a silver, and she had set it in her mind. She's like, I'm going. There's no reason that I'm going. It was her, I think it was the last month contest. And I wrote this idea down, and I loved this. This is what she did. So she made a list of 40 to 45 people. A lot of them were family, because she's like sitting there and she was like, my mom's not on this, my sister's not on this, my cousin's not doing this. She made a list of 40 to 45 people. She made a video. Okay, made it very personal and made it about her. And she wasn't scared to talk about her goal, but she was basically saying, like, I would love for you to give this a try. This is what it's done for me. This is what it's helped me. I am really, really looking forward to earning this leadership conference. It's going to help me in my business. And with your help, this would absolutely help me. She went to Leaders Retreat. Out of however many people out of those 40 to 45 people went to support her. And I think that when it comes to talking about goals that we have for ourselves, we kind of shy away and we're sitting there thinking like, well, we don't want people to know that that's what we're working for. Like, they're not going to order because I want to go somewhere. And sit and listen to all these amazing speakers and you know, but you might be wrong. They might want to help support you. They might want to help send you something. If they know that their order is going to help push and propel you forward, that they might want to do that. So that was just an idea of what another ambassador did. So I want to open it up to Stephanie. I know that you're a rock star, but you earned it last year pretty much all on your own, and I would love for you to have like any tips or any, you know, things that you did really to push yourself there.
All right, thanks, Nicole. Hey, girls. Hey, team. Hey, is that a lot of feedback? It sounds like I'm echoing really bad.
A little bit. You sound. Oh, is it a little bit?
I don't know who said that. Somebody, I guess, heard an echo. All right, so just stop me if it's like unbearable. I'm pulled over in my car in a random parking lot during the team call. So I think that's one of the things is making it a priority. You know, like this is an example. Like I knew I couldn't make it home yet. I'd been visiting my family. So I'm pulled over in a parking lot so that I could make this team call live instead of watching the recording. And I think for me, that was one of the big things for me last year is running it like a business and being very intentional. And you talked about that, like being intentional with my time on Facebook, being intentional with my texts, being intentional with my calls, just with everything. And you were right. I did earn it by myself. I had ambassadors on my team at that time. I had, I think 4, if I remember correctly at that time. Only one of them, if I remember correctly, was working it. And but I didn't get a single point from her either. So I did go to Leaders Retreat. My rank officially is a silver ambassador, but at the time of Leaders Retreat when I went, I technically wasn't even a silver. I was a senior ambassador because my ambassadors weren't doing anything, you know, if that makes sense. So you definitely can do it. And it was really awesome being at Leaders Retreat with everybody who earned it, because you did speak about it. You do have to earn it, whether it's on your own or through your team or whatever it is, you know. And I definitely recommend duplicating and getting the help of your team. I don't recommend doing it the way I was. I was exhausted at the end of those 3 months earning it. But it was really cool being there and to look at people's badges, and I hardly saw any silvers there. I saw some golds, but a lot of it was mostly senior golds and higher. And so I just really want to speak to everybody, because I think that's a lot of people on this call, is don't ever discount yourself. And we never know what's going to happen even next month or later this month. You know, your team might explode, or you might find you might end up with a business runner. You might sign an ambassador next week, and that ambassador takes off and catapults you, and then you already like discounted yourself and didn't think that you could hit the goal. So I know what I did last year is looked at the points, which I don't remember any of that offhand, but I looked at the points and then I just divided it by the 3 months or whatever we had for the contest to know what I needed to do every month. For me personally, I focused on PV and on gaining new preferred customers that qualified, because for me, I felt like that's what I could control. Whereas the ambassadors that I signed up, I could not control if they were going to be dedicated or if they were going to work it as a business or not. And it was too risky for me. So I took on all of that myself. So I set a personal goal to sign up 10 new qualified preferred customers every month for the month of June, July, and August. So a total of 30 new preferred customers. I'll have to look when I get home because I still have my notebook with that. But if I remember correctly, I think I signed 29. So I came really close to hitting my goal of 30 new preferred customers. So I got points from all of that. Plus, then, of course, that meant my PV was really good. So I got points for all that PV. And then, of course, I also was making decent commission checks and all of that as well. Okay, sorry, I just saw Tara, you said, yeah, she's getting feedback as well. I'm getting it too. Sorry, guys, I don't know why. So I would definitely say make a plan and keep working at it every single day, and do not give up until the very end. Oh, Nicole, that's totally solved it when you muted. It's like the echo's gone. Thanks. So anyway, yeah, I would just say don't give up. And it was the same thing like with convention. And I know this is about convention, but it's the same exact thing. So that's why I want to share it with you guys. Trying to hit goal and all that other stuff. It was the same thing. I worked until the very end. And even with this month, I was going into it and I already knew like my PV was really low by the 5th of the month, even 5 days into it compared to where it usually is. 10 days into it, it was dying. 20 days into it, I told a couple of my friends who are not with Plexus, I was like, oh man, this is going to be like my lowest PV month, in the last 14 months. So anyway, going into it, I was preparing myself for a much smaller check and everything else. I had already done what I thought were all my reach outs, all my calls to try to get people to add on to what they were already taking, my potentials and everything else. Long story short, the last 4 days of the month happened. I worked my business really hard one day over the holiday weekend, and then I enjoyed the rest of the holiday weekend without it and just said, it is what it is. I gave it 100%. And then as it turned out, I finished May the second highest month in the history of my business in a little over 4 years. So I went from thinking it was going to be the lowest month in the last 14 months to it ended up being the second highest month. And that's because almost $800 of sales came in the last 4 days of the month for me. And those were all additional products that existing preferred customers added by me reaching out to them and just presenting things to them and them saying, yeah, you're right. I think that's a good idea. I'll try it. You guys, I was completely shocked because I just did not see that happening. So I will share that story with you just to tell you, set the goals, put it on your calendar. And I mean, put it on your calendar and not just for fun, put it on your calendar and be dead serious about like, I'm going. The other thing that I think it really does is it builds your own confidence, because when you earn something, whether you earn our planner, whether you earn a trip, whatever, no matter if it's a $20 item you earned or a large item, it boosts your confidence. It also reinforces to yourself and to your customers that you are legit. Your dreams are legit. That's how I feel about all of it, and that's what I would encourage for all of you. All right, Nicole, I'll pass.
Thank you. Thanks, Steph, so much. So sorry for the feedback. I don't know why the feedback's coming from mine. But Becca, do you have anything? I know that you were there last year with us and got to meet your hilarious husband. And do you have anything that you wanted to add as far as like getting there or experience, anything like that?
So can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So I also had 0 points from anybody on my downline team. So I earned them all on my own. And mine was mostly PV. I tried to get that at least $17.50 every month. And I guess a couple of new customers and maybe a handful of new ambassadors, but it was mostly PV. And like Nicole said, you can almost earn the whole thing on PV depending on how high you get. But a couple of the, like the end of the month, I sent out that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's cheersing the martini, to someone. And I said, I'm still going to get to Leaders Retreat. It's just that I'm going to pay my way there. But for me, I would up my own PV by getting extra trial packs or extra things to give out samples or things to work my business that I could write off just to get the PV to get there. And it wasn't always a huge amount, but it was maybe, $50 or $100 or something at the end of the month that I would throw in to make sure that my PV hit that $17.50 to get the credits. But I agree with Stephanie. I was worn out by September 1st. I was just like, I need at least 2 days to just not think about Plexus at all. But I will say it was absolutely worth it. And as I started seeing June 1st approach this year, I kind of thought I was going to start getting PTSD about last summer and like, oh, I can't do it again. I can't do it again. But it really is that worth it. I think it's that worth it to work for, because I do enjoy convention, but it's so jam-packed and it's so just busy. And Leaders Retreat is a whole different experience. It's just so much more personal. You get downtime to hang out with all the new friends that you meet and all the perks, and just feeling like you're so privileged to be there, I think makes such a huge difference. And that's why I want to go every year. Like, if convention ever happens to come up where I can't afford the tickets or something, you know, I would be devastated, but I will not miss Leaders Retreat. Like, I will work my butt off to get there because I think it's so worth it. But I just started today just trying to tell people, you know, there's this new trip coming up, and that's in October. The contest just started, you know, yesterday or today or whatever day it was. The last couple days I've sent the messages and said, I want you to come with me. I think it would be so fun. And I'm just trying to kind of get people to say, like, hey, let's link arms and work together for it, because we both have to earn it. And I'm trying to kind of reach out through a social, more social aspect than I did last year. So I'm hoping that gets me a little bit more points that I don't have to buy.
No, that's awesome. Thank you, Becca. Yeah, I think you guys, when, you know, once they have the structure come out, I think that we'll have a better understanding of if you want to have to work personally one-on-one to say, okay, like, if you're a math numbers person, which I totally am not, but if you want to work one-on-one and tell me exactly, like, what do I need to do to calculate it wise, you know, like, that works for you, I think that's awesome. And I would love to help you with that, to sit down and say, here's option 1, here's option 2, here's option 3. For me personally, it's all about the number of people that I reach out to. It's all about how many people I follow up with. And it happens organically. Because if I were to set myself up on like a number scale, then I would just be so focused. If like I didn't hit it for June, then I'd be like, well, I can't do this. Like, I just can't do it. But if that's how you are, which I know a lot, we have so many different personalities. Let's get together, reach out to me, send me a message. I would love to help calculate that for you once it's coming out. But when they do announce at convention and new products, it's definitely a reason you want to have your list ready to go. You have your list ready to go. That's the number one piece of information. And I would say, even if it's somebody that you've reached out to, make a list of people that you've talked to about Plexus before. Make a list of your current customers, because I know that last year if there was I cannot remember exactly for the life of me, but it was like if they were inactive and became active again and ordered more than 50 PV, then something counted. I can't remember exactly how that worked, but I would just say have your list ready to go and have something ready to, you know, if you want to record a message about what this has done for you and you want to practice it, because I know it's messages can be scary in Messenger, like once you send them, you can't unsend them unless you delete them, I think. But if you want to practice it on my voicemail. I used to do that to friends. I'd be like, hey, can I send something? Because I practice it on our leaders page if you want to go live. Like, we are all here to help support each other, and it's scary for all of us. There's not one person that's like, oh, I got this. I mean, I love that the attitude, the positive mindset, I got this, but I'm sure all of us are still probably like, oh my gosh, did that sound okay? And we're our own worst critics. So utilize the people on this team to practice with, but have your story ready, have your message ready, have your list ready. And that's the number one thing I would say to walk away from as you start gearing up for this contest. But when it comes out and gets announced next week, we'll have, you know, another strategy call if you'd like to really kind of hone in on a numbers aspect, if that's kind of where you want to take it. But does anybody have any questions?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Do any of them, because a lot of them have not been to Leaders Retreat, like, what's on their mind? What are they thinking about?
Yeah, are you guys listening to this? Like, are you setting a goal to get yourself there, like thinking that it's possible?
I definitely am.
Good. I see a lot of heads shaking. Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's just absolutely no doubt in my mind that you work hard, you set yourself a goal, put it on your calendar. Like, I have the dates right here. I think it's October 23rd to the 26th. Put it on your calendar. Save the date. Like, request off with work. Like, make it real for yourself. Yeah, October 23rd to the 26th. Make it real for yourself. Put it on your vision board. I am the last person to say, like, I have said vision board for the last few years. I do not have one. Like, I want to slap myself. I need to make one. So I'm going to put it on my vision board also. But make it real. Look at that every day. Write that Post-it note tonight and say, I am going to Leaders Retreat October 23rd, 26th. Put it on your bathroom mirror. Sounds silly. It works because you're going to wake up with that intention and that purpose, and you're going to get to work. But carve out, spend a little bit of time to set a plan for yourself and be realistic with yourself, you guys. Figure out in your day how many minutes you have. Do you have 60 minutes? Do you have 15 minutes? How many minutes do you have to work this? And it doesn't matter if you have 15 minutes or an hour. Like, if you have 15 minutes and you're intentional with those 15 minutes every single time, it will take you there. So map yourself out, use Buffer, use Hootsuite for posting, but post every single day. Make it intentional. Make it so that people don't want to stop scrolling. Use your personal life in your posts. Last year I put a straw in an aloe vera bottle and pretended like I was drinking it, and it had X Factor next to me and said, I know a better way. Like, look around your house and find things that, like, clean out your medicine cabinet on a live video of things that are expired. Like, things like that, outside of the box thinking, draw people in, like the attraction marketing that's going to draw people in to know what you have and to know how it can help them, rather than just, I think posting is great. That's great, but make it so that way people are going to come to you. And messaging people, it's scary, it's hard, but it is one of the most vulnerable things that you can do, and putting yourself out there. But if we have that verbiage for the 7-day trial group, and there is something about it, with it ending with the words "you want in." I swear to God, like, people who have always never answered me were like, "Yeah, yes, I want in. Like, let's do this." So use that wording, and if you need that privately sent to you, or I can bump it up on the page so you can see it, that's really going to help you start gauging in your customer base and following up with people. Does anybody have any questions? Or oh yeah, Rachel, I see you.
Well, I was just gonna say that this weekend I actually kind of upgraded from, like, messaging people with words. Like, I actually sent out like 4 voice messages, just like very like
Nice.
blindly, and then listened back to them, and I was like, oh, I actually sound like really jazzed and like very positive, and I feel like it was a better message delivered to them, where they could hear my voice and like the excitement about the products, instead of just like a written word like, this is great.
Oh, totally.
And so there's like more personal deliverance there. So, I mean, obviously, like,
Yep.
I haven't heard back yet, but they also haven't read it yet either. So I'm hopeful.
Yes, no, I think that that's so true. And you're going to find, like, I have so many people that are like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know you could do this in Messenger. Like, this is the first time I've heard. I will say, if you do see that little circle, and go down, you can tell somebody listen to it. If somebody doesn't have Messenger, it will not play for them. So make sure that you know that they have Messenger. Otherwise, that voice thing will not play. Just a tip for you. But no, that's awesome. When they hear that energy in your voice, and if you have a message, if you're sharing your story and you have a message, or if you're doing a blanket message to someone, or like, and you don't say their name, but you like the message and what you sent, you can forward that to somebody else. As long as you don't have their name in it. But if you're like, this sounded really good, and I sounded really confident, and I came across like I loved what I said, you can forward that to, I think you'll get flagged if you do it to more than 200 people, because I landed in Facebook jail one time for that. So I had a lot to say that day, but if you send it to, a certain number of people, I think that, especially if you're like, I want to talk to people about the 7-day trial group, like, do a blanket message. You can do it I think you can send it to yourself through Messenger. And then you can forward it, just keep forwarding it to people. Then that saves you time. It doesn't come up as a forward. It just comes up as a new message for them. Anything else, you guys? Thank you so much. I know, gosh, we almost talked for an hour. I like these type of calls, though. I think that it sets us all up for success, especially when I know that when I see something that's really big and scary with numbers, like, it's like, oh, there's just, I don't know if I can do this. But when you're in control of your action, and if you want this and you want it so much, you're going to do the work to do it. And only you know if you're doing that, doing that work. But don't forget, if you have a team of people, talk to them about Leaders Retreat. Post this on your team page. Talk to them and let them know that they are capable of being there, and that you want to help them just as much as they want to help you. So that's what I've got tonight. Anybody have anything else?
Hey, I'll say one thing real quick too, is keep using your list. I know you mentioned the list of 64 contacts, Nicole, but you guys use your list no matter how old it is. It always amazes me. I even have some of my friends in Plexus who say, I'm all out of leads. I don't have any more potentials or any leads. I don't know any more people. Like, I've been doing this a little over 4 years, and I'm nowhere near being out of people. Like, I'm constantly adding new people to my list, but I am still working off of the very first list I made in February of 2014. I may have contacted those people 20 times or 10 times or whatever in the last 4 years. It may have been 8 months or 9 months ago since I contacted them about something. And there's still people becoming preferred customers off of the original list 4 years ago. So that's just me personally. I would encourage you, keep your list and keep recycling through them. Because remember how we always say that a no does not mean it's no forever. It's just no for right now. So, they maybe weren't in a position financially to buy from you a year ago or 2 years ago, or maybe whatever the case may be. Maybe they didn't have a health problem. Maybe they had no cholesterol issue at that time. Maybe their husband had not had a heart attack, and now he did have a heart attack 6 months ago. I have people who they did not have MS 4 years ago, but they have MS now, and they have neuropathy and things like that. So our health changes all the time. So I think it's really important to keep all of your lists that you make, whether it's a list of 4 people or 200 or whatever, and keep recycling and touching base and figuring out how you can help those people.
I'll kind of jump in off that because, as Nicole knows, and probably some of you have heard, I talked to Nicole about Plexus for 4 years before I finally joined. So that's very true. And I agree with that, Stephanie, because if Nicole didn't, continue to reach out to me, then I probably never would have joined.
I have our message saved, Katie. I have a screenshot for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a true testament. Don't write off anyone unless they're like different. I hate you. Like, don't write off anyone. If they say no, don't write them off. Maybe follow up with them, on your own time frame. But reaching out is really going to be the deal breaker, like the end game here, the deal breaker. Posting is awesome, and you can draw a lot of people in from your posts. But there is something so special about reaching out to people, and you're not annoying them. You're not selling them anything. You're sharing your experience. You want to help them. You're offering them hope. Bottom line, that's it. And if anyone tells you differently, then you bless and release. And don't let them in your head. Don't let them squash this goal to where you're going. Don't let them make you think that what you're doing is not genuine, because every single person on this team, and that's what I love our team so much, is so genuine and super authentic. And if people can't see that, then that is totally their loss. Not yours at all. Anybody have anything? Thank you guys so much for taking the time. I know we've gone an hour, but I'll post this recording. And once this is all announced, we will, let's work together one-on-one. We're going to be doing something a little bit different this month called Rise Up, and it's going to be really focused on the Rank Up roadmap and rising up to the next rank wherever you want to go or want to go to in the future. But it's going to be really small, like intimate groups, and I'm super pumped about it. But this can be, that'll be a great tool to also use while you're working toward Leaders Retreat. So,
yay!
Thank you guys. I look forward to seeing you. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.